thank you for joining me today, and thank you for your time as I begin one of the most anticipated series on the channel, right? One of my most anticipated shows on the channel, and that is Dark. Oh my goodness, there is just so much anticipation behind this, so much hype behind this. I've known about this series for a long time, and it's kind of become like this common knowledge at this point. Everyone and their grandma knows that this is my type of show. Probably the most recommended show at this point. So it's a mix of the most recommendations and a mix of me already knowing about it and being really interested in it. Just never had the chance to begin. Now is the perfect time, and I'm so happy that you're joining me here for this. Yeah, man, really excited. There's nothing quite like starting a brand new series, right? It's just if you know, right? That feeling of starting a brand new series, especially one that you've been looking forward to for so long, right? There's so much anticipation built up for this series on the channel. So some housekeeping. Anytime I start a new series, I like to talk about the things I already might know or I already might have seen, right? For Dark, it's actually pretty good in terms of, staying spoiler free. Now, I do know a few things, and I'll tell you them right now. I know that there is a sci-fi element to this show. I know there is like a time travel aspect to this show. I've known that for some time. And that was one of the reasons I'm so excited for this show, right? That's my jam. That's right up my alley. Time travel stuff. Oh, I eat that up. And I think I've seen a poster. It's basically that thing. The key visual they put on Netflix. I think it was a person in a yellow jacket standing in front of a cave, right? So I've seen that, right? And that's about it. Oh, and of course I know it's a German show, so it is going to be in German, right? The dub is not even an option here. Come on, folks. I grew up on subs. I'm a film guy. Subs are incredible, man. Subs allow you to experience so much, and they've allowed me to experience so much over the years. In terms of film and television. So yeah, subs is not a problem for me at all. So of course, I'll be watching it in its original format, and that's German. No debate there, at least on this channel. And again, if you're new to the channel, I take an inquisitive approach to everything I watch. I'm not the type who lets things just come at me or experience them as they happen. I like to dig in. I like to take a deep dive. I like to figure things out. I like to take what the story's giving me. I like to extract all kinds of info out of it, right? That's how I enjoy storytelling, be it in film and show format. I just like to dig in, right? So that's the approach I take. So yeah, if that's your thing, I think you'll have a good time on my channel if you are new to my channel. And I do hope there are a lot of new folks to the channel. And before I get into the episode, let me mention Patreon. If you're interested in full length to this episode, you can check out Patreon. If you're interested in early access to the next episode right now, you can check out Patreon. And of course, full length is timer based. You can't be out here, sharing complete episodes. But yeah, timer based is really efficient. It's really easy. I do a countdown, and you can open up, you can open it up on Netflix, and then I'll go 3, 2, 1, play, and you hit play at the same time, and it's synced, right? So if you would like to experience the entire series without any cuts for YouTube, check out patreon.com. The links are in the description. And also, if you're into social media, I'm quite active on Twitter. You can support the channel by, following me on Twitter. And that does support the channel because Twitter is quite an effective tool for a content creator. So yeah, you can support the channel just by, following me on Twitter. Not everyone has to be a patron. Of course not. You could just enjoy it here on YouTube. But that option is there for you if you like my content enough to support the channel and get the perks from it as well. But yeah, that's about it. It is time to just jump right in. So once again, thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy. Albert Einstein.
Wir vertrauen darauf, dass die Zeit linear verläuft. Aber die Unterscheidung von Vergangenheit, Gegenwart,
past, present, future being shown in photos
ist nichts als eine Illusion.
Just got goosebumps.
Gestern, heute, morgen folgen nicht aufeinander.
Time is a flat circle.
In einem ewigen Kreis.
Bootstrap paradoxes.
Verbunden.
Cause and effect. All that good time travel stuff right up front.
Ist miteinander verbunden.
I've seen him. The yellow jacket, the raincoat. Whoa. How about that for a hook, man? Fantastic opening. Oh no. Is this what I think it is? It is, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. God damn it, yeah. You could tell the moment he put that note. This is some opening. Family photo. Okay. He's the only one who doesn't seem happy in that photo. Okay. Raincoat Man, who appears to be his son. Alright, so, folks, I'm gonna skip the opening. I was told that it does have scenes from the season, you know, later on in the season, so I could listen to it. Ever or Never Goodbye. That opening was phenomenal. That's quite the hook. And all that exciting time travel stuff, right? Like I mentioned, time is a flat circle. If you know, you know. Cause and effect, infinite loops, time loops, bootstrap paradoxes, all set up right in the beginning, or the potential of those. Oh, I like this. Oh, that's today, isn't it? 10/13, I believe. You know, I've got to say, I'm already digging the music. Mama's having her morning sausage.
Katharina ist da.
Und ich bin da.
Who's Katharina?
Ja, ich liebe dich.
Ah, there it is. He's got the ring. It appears there is some shenanigans going on here. He didn't say it back. Well, he said you're beautiful. He didn't say I love you back. Whoa. Okay, so it looks like Grandma has been ripped out? Now this I think I've seen on a poster maybe.
Vielleicht will ich auch nur, dass mir das sagt.
Was glaubst du, was das sein könnte?
There was that letter though. I guess it didn't explain everything.
Was ich glaube, was es sein könnte?
Actually, it said not to open it, right?
Warum
Till
so?
10:13.
Warum sich scheiße nochmal erhängt hat?
Oh,
Warum kein Wort hinterlassen hat? Nichts, das diese ganze Scheiße erklärt.
they didn't get the letter. Whoa, there it is. Ah, okay, so Mom got it. Or Grandma, Mom. Whoa. Ah, god damn it. The Tree of Life, but it had a lot of symbols. I'm gonna try my best to get the names as quick as possible.
Magnus, dein Pulli ist vielleicht
Ah.
in der Wäsche.
She asked for her lines, so I'm guessing she's a theater kid.
Ein letzter Trick noch in deiner Windschule, ja?
Dann macht hier eben jeder, was er will.
You can see he might be a bad guy, but he's got a great relationship here. Go on then.
Okay. Wahnsinn. Wie hast du das gemacht?
You can't ask him that.
Die Frage ist nicht wie, die Frage ist wann.
Oh, oh, he said the thing. And you can't ignore the transitional hinge, right? Goes to this guy. Okay.
Hier sagen sich der Fuchs und der Hase gute Nacht.
Das war aber nicht immer so.
Oh.
Das hier hat nichts mit meinem Bruder zu tun.
Whoa, okay. Let's put a pin in that. Oh. Oh. So, family portraits are a big thing here. She's married as well. Yeah, and the other noticeable thing is the wedding bands. You can tell the business isn't great. All the keys are hung up, except one on the left there. What's number 8 seems to be missing.
Das hier habe ich im Walde gefunden.
Okay. Is there a significance to this?
So geliebt.
Mads. Gotta love that name, Mads. Big fan of Mads Mikkelsen.
Diesen verschwundenen Erik, wie bei deinem Bruder damals. Alles wiederholt sich.
Whoa! Okay, so Mads, his young brother, also 33 years ago. They're already bringing up the concept of things repeating, cycles.
Es wird wieder passieren. Es wird wieder passieren.
Okay. Burn marks. It feels like there's a generational trauma here. Oh, holy shit, is that Eric? Ginger? It is. So he's being held captive, but... Oh. Television set from the 80s, from the looks of it. 80s classic playing. Oh, great. Strange. Okay, yeah, they've certainly set up the power plant as this ominous presence in this town. There's a family photo right in the back there. Oh, that's the hoodie.
Es tut mir leid. Das mit Michael. Wie geht es dir?
Mikael.
Wie geht's Jonas?
So that's the guy who hung himself, huh? Mikael. Or, well, Michael, but it's pronounced that way. I've seen it being pronounced like that before. So she got the letter. I guess she was the one who saw him first. Ah. Oh, there's a bunch of religions on there. Tree of life, as above, so below. I believe I saw Islam, Hinduism. And on the right, it looked like Satanism. Yin and Yang was there too. Oh my god, you need to take a nap or something, lady. That's a long time still. But imagine that. Imagine that. Having to hold out. But why that time though, right? So specific. So the other thing that's been noticeable is like watches and clocks. This is...
Geh doch schon rein, ich komm gleich nach, ja?
She'll find out sooner or later, man. It's done a good job of establishing all the different connections here. The whole, concept of 6 degrees of separation. Family photos playing a big part. And again, I think pretty much all of these faces were shown in the beginning in that map that was set up in that bunker. But the time arrow was some of the grenades and the gas mask and the rifles in there.
Ich hab dir eine SMS geschrieben, als du weg warst. Nicht nur
Okay, so they had a thing.
Aber ich hab die nie abgeschickt. Ich glaube, ich hab gerade ein Déjà-vu.
Ooh.
Der Wald. Als ob das alles schon mal passiert ist.
I bet it has. Or it is going to happen. In a show like this and the setup. Glitch in the Matrix.
Was?
She's smart. I like her.
Ist ein Déjà-vu ein Fehler in der Matrix.
Oder eine Botschaft aus dem Jenseits.
Whoa. Look at that.
Hi Jonas. Ultimate Fist Bump?
I love this kid. I love this kid.
Oh, entspannt euch mal. Ich bin ja kein Baby mehr.
That scene was so great. The magic trick he did for his dad. The question. And of course, you can't ignore the transitional hinge, right? It goes to Jonas at school right after that scene.
Bei uns in der Klasse sagen die, dass von jemandem entführt wurde.
Wow. Spot on.
Ach, laber nicht. Der ist einfach abgehauen.
Aber es kann doch sein.
She's gotta stop doing that.
Ist ja irgendwo eingesperrt. Ist nicht mehr raus.
Oh, wow. This kid.
Das jemand. Jemand anderen einsperren.
Mein Vater hat immer gesagt, Gut und Böse sind eine Frage der Perspektive.
How about that?
Toter Vater, schlechtes Thema?
Ist es schon zu spät?
Helge. Ich bin
Hegel.
Ich bring dich jetzt zurück, okay?
Es wird wieder passieren.
Of course he's going to be ignored. But he's probably right about something. Oh, the cross. Got a religious grandma here. Oh, it's almost time. Oh, I just realized I've seen her recently. Not recently, a few years ago in Suspiria. Yeah, that cross is quite noticeable, right?
Jackpot.
Whoa. Whoa.
Was ist denn das?
There was a sound emanating from the cave earlier in the episode as well. But this is something else. The music. Goosebumps right now, man. No.
Micke?
Mikkel, that's his name. Ah. Whoa. Oh, it's his dad. Is that black ink? Ah. God damn it. It is episode 1. I can't expect all the answers. It's the setup, right? I'm sure I'll get to see soon enough the contents of the letter.
Zu spät.
Oh.
Wir sind zu spät.
Oh. Is that so? He knows. This old man knows. Oh, Amber Alert? Oh. His brother 33 years ago. Now his son. Wow. Whoa. All these sounds emanating from the caves, man. Yeah, you could tell really early on he has a relationship. I mean, of course, you have a relationship with all your children, but him and his youngest there, Mikkel, seem like there's a bond there. It makes sense, right? It's the youngest.
Habt ihr ihn gefunden?
The therapist? Right, her husband, they showed the photo.
Wie geht's, Franziska?
Charlotte,
Oh? Oh?
ich muss dir...
Du, ich muss los.
Okay.
He knows something, just like the old man. Oh. Did he know about this incident going down? He's religious as well, but the things he's saying here can be applied to the sci-fi element of this, potentially. No. But that was a Walkman, though. Imagine that feeling, though. No, that's not Mikkel. Because Mikkel had an all black outfit on and the bones, right? That's not Mikkel. That's not Mikkel. Yeah, I think he knows. It's not him. Oh. Oh.
Das ist nicht Mikkel. Das ist nicht Mikkel.
Yeah, he's... Holy shit, is that his brother? Jean jacket, similar hair to that photo they showed. And the Walkman. I think Ulrich clocked it at the end there. You know, I'm not even sure if Eric is in the present timeline because, you know, they've set up... Oh, I gotta look at the guy's face there. Clean shaven. 80s music, 80s television set. Oh, that's probably the thing that messed up the kid's eyes. Ah, that's it, huh? Jonas. Whoa. I think that's supposed to be his brother. Ulrich's brother. The one that apparently goes missing 33 years ago. But here he is. eyes completely burnt, and it looks like Eric, young Eric, might be about to go through the same process. But I'm really starting to think Eric is not in the present timeline. Because there's a few things in this episode that, they've set up in terms of different dates. And 80 seems to come up a lot. They're giving us cues and clues and references to certain time periods, right? Man, that is a fantastic first episode. Fantastic. I'm in. I'm so in. Of course. Wow. All right. Much to talk about. Whoa. Okay, folks. That lived up to all the hype and then some. It matched all the expectations I had for the opening episode. I'm in. I'm so in. I mean, I was in immediately, like right from the beginning, to be honest. The moment I saw that map of characters in that bunker, so much to talk about, and this is the type of show that can just get me going and going, about theories and, there's just so much good stuff jam-packed in this episode. Before I even get into it, I thought it was a fantastic pilot episode, right? I'll get into the, the specifics of it, but I thought that was just fantastic. Wow. So good experience, a really good experience. Again, it probably helped that it's right up my alley. Everything about this episode and the story that's been set up here is right up my alley. Like I said in my intro, time travel stuff is just so fascinating, right? So yeah, there's a lot of great setup already. Now, before I get into it, and there is quite a bit to get to, so strap in. I'm gonna go through the names because right now they're fresh in my mind, and saying them out loud and repeating them is going to help me retain those names. Okay, first name, Jonas. I've been calling him Jonas throughout the episode, Jonas and Jonas back and forth. It appears that it's Jonas. Like I said during the episode, like Jurgen Klopp. Yep, right there. So it's Jurgen, but it's Jurgen. So same thing going on here. So Jonas, I have to keep that in mind. Now, I don't know if people are going to think it's, cheesy or whatnot, but I am going to try to pronounce the names how they pronounce it, right? Like Jonas's dad, right? The spelling is clearly Michael, but they pronounce it Mikael, right? And that's not new. I've heard that before. I've heard that pronunciation of Michael. Actually, I've heard a couple of different pronunciations for Michael. So much like Game of Thrones, it appears to have multiple protagonists, but Jonas does seem like the focus. Again, I mentioned in my intro, and then I noticed in the episode really early on as well, the yellow raincoat. It's kind of like iconic at this point, right? And the caves. So essentially, yeah, I did see the caves and Jonas standing in front of the caves. And again, I think it was official poster. I'm not sure if they call it the official poster or key visual. But yeah, I have seen that. So that in itself, like I mentioned, could be a bit of a hint into the direction of the series or the story. So let's keep that in mind. But okay, yeah, back on track. I'll do it by families. I think that's the easiest because even in the beginning, it looked like family trees, right? Family trees, and then later on they even showed the tree of life. Again, I keep jumping the gun here because I'm so excited, but I'll get into all of the details in a bit. Let's stick to the names. I need to calm down, man. I'm sure you could tell by now. I'm just really, really excited. And it's that moment you have like a plethora of information just in your mind, and you just want to get it out there, right? But yeah, let's do the families. I think I have a decent grasp on it. So Jonas, his father, Michael or Mikael. Then you have his mom, Hannah. Then you have Katarina, who is Mikkel's mom, Magnus's mom, and I cheated a bit. I had to go and look up Martha. I had to look up her name one more time. And of course, their father, Ulrich. Of course, things kind of ended on a sad note for Ulrich. On a really sad note, actually, if that does end up being who I think it is. And I'm quite confident about that, to be honest. But yeah, so that's those two families. There's Grandma. I didn't get a name for Grandma, who is not really part of the family anymore from the looks of it. She hasn't been in contact for months at this point, apparently. So who else? Old man, Hagel. Who was the lady in the hotel? That one I can't remember. There's also Bartosz, Marta's current companion, her boyfriend at the moment. Yeah, those are the ones that are coming to mind. But as I go through my review or analysis, I'm sure a couple more might jump out at me. But yeah, I feel like I have a decent grasp on the names. How about that for an ending, eh? It appears that Ulrich's brother, Mads, right? Or his dead body has appeared out of thin air, right? 33 years after disappearing. Or so it would seem, right? Now, like I said, I'm quite confident that this is meant to be the missing brother, right? The clothing, the hair, the Walkman in particular is prominently featured and highlighted for the audience. Unless, of course, it's a misdirect, right? I can't eliminate that possibility just yet. It is early days, right? It's episode 1. But, I feel like there's too many clear-cut signs that this is meant to be his brother, right? And that's insane. Now, here's the key question, though. How does the body still look like that, right? I mean, it's been mutilated, and unfortunately, our other missing person, Eric, might be about to experience the same thing, right? Also, like I mentioned, quick glimpse, but I did see that the man in the hood is clean shaven, right? So let's see if I come across anyone who could potentially resemble that lower half of the face. Of course, the upper half was strategically hidden under that hood, but the lower half, at least I've got something, right? Clean shaven. But going back to the body, it is simply impossible for it to still look like that 33 years later. That body has not been there this whole time, right? Surely they would have found it a long time ago if it was out there, right? I don't know, man. I think it's exceedingly likely that this was placed there quite recently. Also, Ulrich's mom found a wrapper of chocolate, of a chocolate brand, chocolate bar brand, tongue twister, that Mads, Ulrich's younger brother, used to love. And, like I mentioned during the episode, Mads, I gotta love that name, big fan of Mads Mikkelsen. But yeah, apparently Mads used to love this chocolate bar brand. So I think the sci-fi element, the whole time travel aspect is coming in at that point. That body has come from the past, right? Or into this present timeline. Or it's really a matter of perspective, right? Because from another perspective, it has traveled into the future or displaced into the future. So much like his uncle Mads 33 years ago, that's a key date in this episode, right? 33 years. Again, I'll come back to that. Again, so excited. I have to stay focused though. So much like his uncle Mads, Mikkel has now gone missing, right? But Mads, or someone who I really believe to be Mads, has shown up here, right? Is it possible that they switch places, right? Mads or his dead body has ended up in this timeline, Mikkel's timeline, right? And Mikkel has ended up in Mads' timeline, his uncle's timeline, which from Mikkel's perspective would be the past, right? Though if indeed he switched places, that would then become his present, right? Again, all a matter of perspective. And I think there was some really clever foreshadowing earlier on, and it had me quite excited, as you saw. And it was, one of my favorite scenes of the episode, no doubt about it. Mikkel and Ulrich at the family table, right, before school and before they get on with their days. Listen, I get that he's not perfect, and I'm speaking of Ulrich, Mikkel's father, right? But then who really is, right? No one's perfect. I'll come back to that point. I'll come back to Ulrich. But I really love the father-son moment. You know, that bond, the love he has for his youngest. But the scene at hand, the illusion, it felt like an important moment, right? It had that gravitas to it. The question isn't how, but when, right? And then boom, right? It cuts to Jonas, lost in his own thoughts, right? I know I've said it a few times now, but it's always important to note the transitional hinge, right? Always. Because in good storytelling, the transitional hinge, you know, that in itself can tell you quite a bit, right? That in itself can exposit quite a bit if you look for it. So once again, going back to Mikkel and his uncle, his lost uncle from 33 years ago, Mads, it kind of feels like it's almost like an exchange, right? Yin and yang, as above, so below. As I mentioned, you know, yin and yang was present on that box as well. The universe demanding it, right? But I most definitely hope that Mikkel isn't dead like his uncle, because his uncle, you know, I keep calling the child at the end there his uncle. I keep calling him Mads because I'm so sure it is. So, you know, I'm just going to refer to him as Mads. I think it's kind of unmissable, right? The setup is unmissable that it is meant to be the brother, the long lost brother. I mean, there are other possibilities as well, right? He could be deep inside those caves by now, right? Taken by this ominous hooded figure, perhaps, who was holding Eric captive, right? And the hooded figure does emerge from the caves, doesn't he? Earlier on in the episode. But the head scratcher here is that the room Eric is being held captive is playing music from the 80s on a television set that looks like it could be from the 80s as well, right? Hell, there's a possibility that even Eric was displaced from his present timeline. You know, that was my thought at the end of the episode, that there's a lot of time displacement going on here for these young children. Like, who is this man, right? He's out here kidnapping Eric and possibly Mikkel as well, and he might have kidnapped young Mads 33 years ago. And it's possible that he might have been the one who placed the body here because, again, they showed this hooded figure emerge from the caves. And, you know, he might have placed a body here now by potentially bringing it from 33 years ago, right, into the present timeline. And again, you know, I speculate this because of the bizarre room Eric was in. You know, blasting music from the 80s on a television set that could be from the 80s, you know? Yeah, it's strange. It's really strange, man. I mean, there are some legitimate signs here that he's a time traveler. Man, I swear, if this ends up being some sort of like time traveling serial killer, right? Because serial killers have cycles, right? Or at least some of them have cycles. And, you know, Ulrich's mother noted that everything was repeating itself, right? Just like Mads, just like 33 years ago, you know? So that's one take on this cycle thing, right? Just a thought, a possibility. Also, Hagel at the old folks' home, right, adds another notch to it. It's going to happen again. He said that a few times throughout the episode. In fact, he knew something like that was about to go down, right? He knew it was too late before the police officer even took the call or checked the Amber Alert, right? And the framing of one of those shots drew attention to his ear, right? Seems to have been some sort of burn accident. So, of course, I'm guessing that is going to play a part at some point. So, as I mentioned during the reaction, there's clearly some sort of generational trauma here. And Ulrich's mom and Hagel think it's repeating itself, right? It's happening again. And this time to the next generation, right? Connected in a never-ending cycle as established in the opening. And that certainly set the tone right from the opening, right? The Einstein quote, right? Followed up by the narrator setting up the principle of time, right? The past, present, future are not consecutive, right? And that the distinction is nothing but an illusion, right? Right? Illusions. They are connected in a never-ending cycle. Immediately bringing up the strong possibility of bootstrap paradoxes playing a major part in this story. And that is damn exciting, right? And that was right up front. You know, that was right in the beginning. All right, time is a flat circle, infinite loops, history repeating itself, cause and effect, causality, you know, motivate actions causing effects that in turn become causes of yet other effects, right? Interlinking the various levels of conflict in a chain reaction all that, all that good time travel stuff, right? All that exciting time travel stuff. It really got the gears turning right in the beginning of the episode for me. But yeah, I think the sci-fi time travel implications and the possibilities are presented right up front. Made it quite clear that this is about to play a crucial part, right? Or it's about to be a crucial component of this story. And that is a damn exciting thought. Now, surely the opening narrator must be someone important to the story, right? Perhaps an authority on the subject matter. Is this person responsible for setting up the map of connections in this bunker, right? I mean, they couldn't make it any more clear that everything is connected, that everyone is connected. Or was it the hooded figure, right, who set up that map of connections, perhaps? The keeper of time, perhaps. That's kind of like the feeling I was getting as well. Now, some of the guns and the grenades and the gas mask in there could be a great reference point, right, for the time period of that particular shot. And I'm sure I'll return to that shot at some point, because a lot of that stuff is from long before 2019, right? Yet there are photos of them from the established present timeline of this story. Most interesting, right? But circling back a bit, the therapist is also a person of interest here because he knows things clearly, right? Much like Hegel, it appears that he knew something like this was about to transpire, right? That it was about to go down, right? And it looked like he almost told his wife something, right? His wife, who's also Ulrich's partner. She might not be his partner, but they kind of collaborate. Can't remember that name. Okay, maybe next time. So it was clear to see that he was quite upset, right? Quite upset and quite conflicted on the phone, right? But ultimately, he didn't come out with it. So yeah, I mean, I believe he was saying, God give me, or God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. So of course, immediately, you have to presume he's a religious man, right? And the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, right? How about that? I mean, you could read into that quite a bit. That sounds like he knows some things and then some, right? And this happens to be something he felt he could not change or interfere in, right? But again, he was quite conflicted and upset, right? So let's certainly put a pin in that. Now, there is another individual who seems to have known about this incident ahead of time. And I'm speaking of Jonas's father, Mikael. And I say that because of the very specific instructions he left on the suicide note, right? Specifying right down to the time even. Do not open this letter before 10:13 p.m. Now, it remains to be seen if he specifically knew about Mikkel's disappearance, but it's been established that it was important that the contents of the letter not be revealed until after that specific time, right? An incident taking place. So I feel like there is a connection there. There is something going on here, right? So much like the therapist, I feel like Jonas's father knew some things, right? Now the next question becomes, if he knew, how exactly did he know, right? And what is the connection here? Did he receive a message from the future, right? I think that is a possibility, right? And if that is a possibility, how come he didn't share this type of information, right? To potentially prevent this, right? If he knew about something about to go down, right? The man certainly had his secrets, right? That's for damn sure. Also happens to be the title of the episode, adequately titled episode. So yeah, I'm sure I'll get to learn more about Jonas's father, Mikael, as the story progresses. And it seems that the letter might have the crucial information required here to make sense of this, right? Especially given his mother's emotional reaction to it, right? Also, there's that. His mother had the letter. Did he leave it for her specifically, right? Or she just happened to be the one to see the unfortunate scene first. They are in the same house, right? They showed like a time skip. It's kind of in bad condition now, of course, but they are in the same house. So yeah, how did the mother get the letter? You know? I guess they used to live together, maybe, right? All of them, even the mother. Maybe. It's not really that common, I guess. But she got the letter, right? Jonas didn't get it. Hannah didn't get it, right? Jonas is clearly quite frustrated. Hannah is frustrated with the grandma, Mikael's mom. So that in itself is another, question mark. How did she get the letter? Now, beyond how she ended up getting the letter, I'm sure I'll find out soon enough at some point in the story. It appears that she made the choice to not share that information, that there is a letter, right? A parting letter, quite an important letter in that sense. She made the choice to not share it with Jonas or Jonas's mom, right? Mikael's wife. A lot of questions, man. Even as I'm thinking of it, like, one question is making me think of other questions. It's like tangents, branches. And you see just how much Jonas is struggling, right? Not knowing, why his father did that, right? No explanation, and really feeling in the dark about his own father altogether. So, even though I've just seen him in one episode, I feel for the dude, right? The empathy is there already. So they did a great job of establishing that character, right? And his current state. Now, going back to his father, Mikael, or, looking at his demeanor or attempting to read his body language and expressions, he didn't seem particularly sad about this, right? Moments before taking his own life, right? There seemed to be a calm and accepting mood almost, a calm nature to him almost, right? And again, the specific instructions in the letter make this so intriguing. Also, he was an artist, right? And he took one last look at one of his paintings before stepping up. I noted that even in the episode, like it was quite noticeable that, he's having this kind of like a final look, right? And a lot of his stuff, his art, had like a splotchy element to it, right? A lot of it is in black ink. Let's see if any of that comes into play. I mean, in a show like this, I'm sure it's going to play some part at some point, right? Jonas had a supernatural experience in the forest, right? At least I think it was a supernatural experience. Again, there's so many questions here that who knows? But as of this point, it felt like a supernatural experience, right? Sees his father covered in black liquid. I'm thinking that was meant to be black ink, right? Makes sense. The connection is there, right? Perhaps the ink is dry. And speaking of the forest, it's established as one of the key settings, right? The opening shot of the series is the forest, right? A labyrinth in its own. And then within the forest are these caves, right? Established quite early as something quite intriguing, right? To say the least. And then throughout the episode, it became quite clear that something strange or something quite strange is happening there, right? On a few occasions, the strange whoosh, right, whooshing noise emanates from within the caves, right? It happens twice near the conclusion of the episode. Once as the kids are in front of the entrance, and at the same point, some sort of electromagnetic pulse also seems to be messing up the flashlights, right? And then finally, one last time, as Ulrich is shouting out for Mikkel, right? Again, it's kind of like a haunting moment. Him shouting into the unknown, right? Shouting into the caves, echoes. I really felt, that moment really felt like a big moment to me. Though, that time as Ulrich goes running into the caves shouting for Mikkel, that time it wasn't as loud, right? And it felt much more distant, like much more deeper in the caves at that point, if you know what I mean. So what's going on here, right? I've been talking about the time travel aspect. Is this the spot, right? Is this the spot? Does the cave have some sort of portal to the other side, and again, the hooded figure emerges from the cave. They also mentioned black holes at one point in the episode. The girl that has a thing, I certainly felt that they have a thing. So, there's kind of like this standoffish Magnus, can't remember her name, but she is the therapist's daughter, right? and the police officer's daughter. Again, the portraits, family photos played a major part in this episode for many reasons, actually. Quite effective, used quite effectively, actually. But yeah, she was giving a presentation in class, but of course, the point stands. They are bringing up the concept of black holes as well early on, right, in the first episode. And, black holes and wormholes have long been linked to time-traveling ideas in fiction, right? So even though, again, it wasn't a classroom setting, it's interesting that, it was brought up and already established in the story. And there's other really cool concepts in fiction as well, right? Time-traveling ideas, that is, ideas like the time gate, right? The idea that time flows alongside, side by side on each side of this hypothetical gate. So I feel like some of my pre-existing knowledge of, time travel fiction or ideas of time travel in fiction might come in handy in this. Again, I'm not some master or anything, but, I've seen my share of stuff. I've, read my share of books. So I know a few things, and I feel like, they'll come in handy in a show like this. And that's one of the reasons it has me so excited, because I can apply a lot of things I already know to this story, right? And the ideas being presented in the story. So right from the beginning, there was this distinct feeling of something being off about this town. I mean, it's beautiful, right? Cozy and a cute little town on the surface, at least. Yet there is something unsettling about it as well, right? It certainly has its secrets, a dark past from the look of things and sound of things. I mentioned signs of a generational trauma earlier, and there's an ominous presence of this nuclear power plant looming above this town, almost like the Eye of Sauron, right? I mean, I'm sure that place has its own secrets and a dark past. Everything is connected after all. And I'm speaking of the power plant, the nuclear power plant. And that reminds me, Martha, she's certainly an intelligent one, right? She's one of the for me, she's one of the standout characters from this episode. She made a comment about the plant mafia keeping secrets from the public. She's probably spot on. And then later in the forest, she had that really interesting deja vu moment, didn't she? I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is going to be a thing at some point, that, that it might come back to that. So again, let's put a pin in that. You're probably going to hear me say that a lot, let's put a pin in that. But yeah, as a pilot episode, the first of a new series, I thought it was quite good, as I mentioned earlier. I think it did a fantastic job of balancing all the dramatic setups so early in the episode, right? Efficiently building intrigue, scene after scene, right? Structure, setting, character, genre, and idea melded seamlessly. I felt that the exposition was effortless, as it should be, right? Nothing contrived about it. So that was certainly impressive, given the plethora of characters, right? And their relationships to each other's, or their relationships to other characters, right? Within the story. It had a great sense of progression throughout the episode, right? Effectively utilizing the hint for the transitions, right? Like I said, things held common by two scenes or counterpointed between them, right? Linking the tail of scene A to the head of scene B, right? I saw a lot of that in this, and it was pulled off to great effect, I think. And, I think this episode had the making of a solid cast of characters, a solid ensemble, traits and dimensions, creating counterpoints, distinguishing each character from every other character, right? A hidden nature concealed behind a facade of traits, right? Clear contradictions between public selves and core selves, right? And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Because if characterization and true character match, it then becomes a list of repetitious and predictable behaviors, right? And shallow, non-dimensional characters just aren't compelling, right? In an ensemble cast, such as this one, each role has to play a part in a creative strategy, right? That enhances the storytelling. And long-form storytelling, such as a series spanning multiple seasons, really offers a unique opportunity, right? To create characters of dimensionality and complexity, right? Everyone seems to have their own struggle, right? Much like real life. Perhaps a tragedy in their past, right? Recently, and for some of them in the near future, perhaps, right? There's a depiction of grief, faults, regrets, commitments, or the failure to uphold those commitments. The wedding bands, as I mentioned, are prominently featured throughout the episode, much like clocks and watches as well. So yeah, there's a lot of great symbology there, and I'm sure it's going to continue, right? This is just the beginning. I feel like I'm barely scratching the surface at this point. And of course, the score is gripping, right? It's atmospheric, it's unsettling. Those drones are so haunting, goosebump inducing, actually. This really is my kind of score. It's like right up my alley. This show, the whole package is so up my alley. Like, I'm blown away, I'm excited. I haven't been this excited about a new show in a long time, a long time. But yeah, back to the score, it really is quite engaging, right? It's quite effective in pushing that something isn't quite right narrative, right? Beautiful photography and color grading as well, noticeable color grading. I really quite like the look of it. The rich tones, Jonas's raincoat, the yellow raincoat, is quite noticeable, and clearly that's by design as well, right? There's a lot of great contrast as well. I felt that Marta's red scarf was noticeable too. So yeah, I'm trying to, keep track of different things here. A lot of things stuck out to me, I think, and I'm going to do my best to, extract as much as possible to include in my reviews and my analysis discussion portion after the episodes. To me, it's one of the most exciting parts of doing this on YouTube. And if indeed I just entered a bootstrap paradox, a lot of things happening in this episode could end up being so crucial, and I don't even know yet, right? And they could end up being so necessary in like a potential cause and effect loop, right? Spanning who knows how long, right? They've already established the concept of cycles repeating themselves, right? Or the possibility of things repeating. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this. I think that's a good point to end this off. I feel like I've done a decent job of, kind of going through the material that was given to me in the first episode, and there is quite a bit. So it was exciting. So I hope many of you got to this point. I feel like this discussion was probably one of my favorites I've done in a long time as well. So if you enjoyed that, I know I certainly enjoyed that, but if you enjoyed it, consider dropping a like. That helps the channel grow, and it helps other fans of Dark, potentially find this on YouTube. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're new, right? Hopefully, this first episode and this discussion portion was enough to hook you. If not, it's all cool. Come back again, maybe down the line. You might feel like, you might feel the need to subscribe. So, it's all good. Now, if you're interested in full length for this, or perhaps even early access to the next episode right now, consider checking out the Patreon page and support the channel in that manner, if you would like to. But yeah, I feel like this show is certainly built for full length, isn't it? Again, I'm not trying to push that or anything. I'm just saying, I'm giving my honest take. There's so much going on in this episode. I feel like I'm going to struggle to cut this down to 10 minutes. It's going to be a challenge, but, it's got to be done. But yeah, if you do want to check out the entire uncut episode, and it's a timer-based full length, of course, you can't just share the entire episode. And of course, there's early access as well. But yeah, also, if you're into social media, check out my Twitter account. I'm usually quite active there. And of course, you don't have to be a patron to be supporting the channel. You can support the channel by following me on Twitter, and that certainly helps. That helps grow the reach of the channel. And Twitter is a powerful tool for a YouTube channel. I'm hoping there's more of these types of sessions down the line, and something tells me, yes, there's going to be a lot more sessions like this one. So yeah, I am completely just hooked after episode 1. So yeah, that's about it for this one. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again for the next one. So until then, take it easy.